You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
I swear I just spent 20 minutes this morning trying to book 3 meetings across 4 time zones.
Oh, the worst.
And the complexity of just getting calendars to align, it made me want to go back to sending letters.
Yeah.
And that feeling of just crushing complexity.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the whole security landscape feels like right now. The sheer amount of stuff coming in can be paralyzing.
It is. It's totally overwhelming. You've got these huge nation-state operations happening, and at the same time, you're seeing these critical flaws in, like, a coffee maker.
Right.
If you try to track every single alert, you'd just burn out. So what we want to do today is take all that recent intelligence and really just extract the essential game-changing stuff for you.
Exactly. Cut straight to what matters. And what I love about this particular set of material is how it just shows there's no perimeter anymore. We've got everything from huge healthcare breaches down to, a smart pet feeder?
A pet feeder, old home routers, even electric scooters.
Okay, so to set the stage for how weird things have gotten, where do we even begin?
Let's start with maybe the most bizarre one. The Bluetooth headphone jacking issue.
That one stopped me in my tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about some knockoff brands here, right?
Yeah.
This is Sony, Bose, Marshall.
The big names. And they're all using these Airoha Bluetooth chips. The flaw isn't just one thing. It's more like a chain reaction of failures.
Okay, so walk me through it. What's the first link in that chain?
The first failure is just a lack of strong authentication when the headphones connect, using Bluetooth Classic or BLE. But the real problem comes from this custom protocol Airoha built in. They call it RACE.
RACE. And what does that do?
It's the skeleton key. It's a diagnostic protocol, but it lets anyone close enough read and write directly to the device's RAM.
Wait, directly to the memory. So you're not just, breaking the encryption.
Yeah, no, you're bypassing it entirely. You use the weak connection to get in, then you use RACE to take over. You can basically fool the phone into thinking you are the real headphones.
Then once you've done that.
Well, you can listen in on calls, sure, but the bigger deal is you can start issuing commands through the phone's virtual assistant.
So an attacker could be telling my phone what to do, and I wouldn't even know it happened.
Exactly. That's the risk.
That blurring line between physical hardware and digital control. It brings us right to the wild west of the consumer Internet of Things. Like that pet feeder you mentioned.
Oh, the Petlibro case is a textbook example of just catastrophic third-party risk. The researchers found this completely broken social login system.
How broken are we talking?
The backend server just trusted whatever Google ID the app sent it. It never actually checked if the token was valid.
You're kidding me? So it's just, hi, I'm legit. Trust me.
Pretty much. Which meant an attacker could log into literally any account.
Wow.
From there, they could grab pet profiles, find devices, and even download the little audio messages owners record for their pets at mealtime.
That's both creepy and a perfect example of how convenience can just gut security.
And speaking of a single point of failure, the Aike electric scooter story is almost mythical.
It is. It's a systemic failure. A researcher reverse-engineered the scooter's cloud controls and found that the authentication used a single global default key.
The scooter master key.
Exactly. It was the same key baked into the firmware of every single scooter they made.
So if you find the key to one, you have the key to all of them, the whole fleet.
Any attacker nearby could authenticate to any scooter and command it remotely. It's a huge warning about trusting your supply chain because you can't just patch that out easily. It's built in.
And sometimes the threat isn't the shiny new tech, it's the ancient box in the corner, right?
Yeah.
We also saw attacks on old, end-of-life D-Link routers.
Yeah, this is the classic legacy infrastructure problem. These things, like the DSL 2740R, should have been retired years ago, but they're still out there. And attackers are hitting an unauthenticated RCE flaw.
Unauthenticated, so they don't need a password or anything. Nothing. They can just inject a command and hijack the router's DNS settings.
So they control where all the traffic goes for that entire network?
Correct. It's just like those old DNS changer campaigns. If you have an old, unsupported router at your edge, you might as well have no perimeter at all.
Okay, so shifting from hardware flaws to just massive data loss. The breaches keep piling up. We saw Tokyo FM claiming a breach of, over 3 million records?
Yeah, names, emails, birth dates. If that's verified, it's just instant fuel for phishing attacks.
But the scale of some of the confirmed ones is staggering. Covenant Health, hit by the Quillen ransomware, they confirmed almost 500,000 people impacted. SSNs, treatment info, all gone.
850 gigabytes of data. And then Brightspeed, the fiber provider, is looking into claims of over 1 million of their customer records being stolen. It just shows that for all the clever hardware hacks, a simple lack of access control is still king.
Absolutely. But the most disturbing story we came across wasn't an external attacker at all. It was the ultimate insider threat when the good guys go bad.
This is where it gets really dark.
2 U.S. cybersecurity professionals. One's an incident response manager, the other a ransomware negotiator. They pleaded guilty to deploying Black Cat ransomware themselves.
I mean, think about that. The very people you hire to fix the problem, to negotiate with the criminals, they are the criminals.
They used their inside knowledge of how companies defend themselves to carry out the attacks. They extorted about $1.2 million from a medical device company.
And we're sharing 20% of the ransoms back with the actual Black Cat operators.
That just highlights this existential need for due diligence on your third-party providers.
Yeah.
Especially the ones you call in a crisis. Who can you actually trust?
Maybe not a person. Which leads perfectly to the next big threat vector, the machine insider.
You're talking about AI agents. The head of security intelligence at Palo Alto Networks called them the single biggest insider threat we'll face by 2026.
It's a bold claim, but the logic is sound. These agents are being plugged into core business systems.
And they're doing it with human-level privileges, but at machine speed.
Exactly. They don't sleep. So a single misconfiguration or a clever prompt injection, and that agent can become a silent, hyper-efficient insider threat.
It's the kind of deep analysis we try to bring you on Vocal Technologist. So one bad prompt could, what?
It could approve fraudulent multi-million-dollar deals. It could exfiltrate your entire database in minutes. It could delete all your backups before a human analyst even gets their first coffee. The principle of least privilege has to be paramount for these agents.
And the problem you've pointed out is that defense is way behind offense here because of what you call the verifiability gap.
Right. If you think about it, AI offense has a huge natural advantage. An attack either works or it doesn't. It's a binary, easily verifiable outcome.
That clear feedback lets the AI learn incredibly fast.
Yes, whereas defensive tasks like sifting through millions of security alerts, there's no clean mechanical verifier. It's all just noisy.
So the models struggle to learn what's actually important.
Precisely. And we see this in testing. OpenAI's specialized model, O3, got a 90% success rate on hard capture the flag challenges. The general GPT-4 only got 20%. And the difference was that O3 had a proper verification environment to train in.
So the key isn't just a better AI, it's better feedback loops.
Yes. But on the flip side, AI also holds incredible promise for one of security's hardest problems, formal verification.
Which is the gold standard, right?
Yeah.
Mathematically proving a system does exactly what you designed it to do.
Yeah.
But it's always been way too expensive.
Prohibitively so. The cell-4 microkernel, for example, took 20 person-years to verify. It's basically an academic exercise for most companies.
But the idea is that LLMs could change that.
They could potentially generate the complex mathematical proofs needed. If we can train people to write good high-level specifications, AI could dramatically lower the barrier to entry for this super high-assurance technique.
That would be a genuine game changer.
It really would.
So let's shift to some more immediate practical defense. A lot of organizations struggle to show any real ROI on their attack surface management, their ASM programs.
And that's usually because they're measuring the wrong things. They focus on coverage metrics, like how many assets they scanned or how many alerts they generated.
Which just leads to alert fatigue, and the problems don't actually get fixed.
Right. The strategic shift has to be to outcome-based metrics. Instead of counting alerts, measure your mean time to asset ownership. How fast can you find a new exposed device and assign someone to fix it?
And measure the reduction in actual dangerous endpoints.
Exactly. You have to prove the attack surface is actually getting smaller. That's the only metric that matters.
On that practical note, what about new tools? We saw a new fingerprinting method, JA4.
JA4 is a great practical win. It builds a fingerprint from the initial TLS handshake, but it's designed to be easier for humans to read and much harder for attackers to fake. It's a really solid upgrade for threat hunting.
And then there are tools that are really looking far ahead, like the PQC network scanner.
PQC is post-quantum cryptography. So this scanner is looking for a problem that doesn't fully exist yet.
It's scanning for systems that will be vulnerable to future quantum computers.
Correct. It's critical prep work. You need to know today which systems you'll need to upgrade before a quantum computer can break their encryption tomorrow.
And finally, a bit of good news for you, the listener. especially if you happen to live in California.
Yeah, California launched a new platform called DROP-P. It's a huge help. Instead of having to contact hundreds of beta brokers one by one to get your data deleted.
You can now do it with a single verified request.
And it legally forces over 500 registered data brokers to delete your personal data and stop selling it. It's a massive step forward for consumer data control.
So we've gone from a scooter's master key to AI insiders. If we had to boil this all down, what are the two big strategic takeaways people should be thinking about right now?
First, the perimeter is well and truly gone. The risk is now in your headphones, your pet feeder. It's a supply chain problem. Second, AI is rapidly becoming both the biggest threat, these silent, automated insiders, and our biggest potential defense with things like formal verification.
And underlying all of that is the skills gap. That ISC2 study was clear. It's not about headcount anymore. It's about not having enough people with the specialized skills for AI and cloud security.
Which brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought for you. We talked about the cybersecurity pros who became criminals, but we also saw that Ilya Lichtenstein, who was convicted for laundering the money from the massive Bitfinex hack, was just released early.
A guy who laundered almost 120,000 Bitcoin is out.
So as we see this convergence of hacktivism and ransomware and this desperate need for new defensive skills, what role do people like him play in the future?
Are they just persistent threats?
Yeah.
Or do they become these incredibly skilled, highly paid, if deeply controversial, defensive assets?
It's the big question, isn't it? As we move forward, who do you really trust? The human, the machine, or maybe even the reformed adversary?
Spoken Tech for your ears.